Jordan Davis out of Georgia is a mammoth of a human being. You don't find that skill set anywhere, even in the NFL, so it's hard to find a comp. But if you want somebody with a similar body type, just a little bit smaller, is Vita Vea, the defensive tackle for the Tampa Bay Bucks at 6'4", 347 pounds. Now, Davis has got a couple inches on him, but he's still the same weight. He's got about 350 that he can carry on game day. But the thing that's similar is the style of play, because Jordan Davis is constantly playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. He's constantly taking up multiple blockers. And like Vita Vea, you're not going to see a lot of stats with sacks, but the unwritten stats are the ones that matter the most. The impact he makes along the line of scrimmage cannot be measured, which is why scouts are falling in love with Jordan Davis.
Nebraska center Cam Jurgens is one of the more athletic center prospects in this class. He endeared himself to the nation at the NFL Combine, where we learned about his beef jerky line, and we have compared him to Falcons center Drew Dahlman. Jurgens gets too erratic and loose at times. He allows defenders on his hip too often as a result of not marrying his hands and feet, and does a good job of making initial contact in space, but staying engaged is a chore. As a former tight end, he plays with a mean streak and looks to end your existence on each of his pulling assignments. He has a strong core that allows him to absorb contact well. The Nebraska native plays with a balanced frame and is quick out of his stance. His athleticism tested off the charts at the NFL Combine, running a 4.92 seconds 40-yard dash. He is best suited in a wide zone blocking scheme that's going to allow him to use his athleticism in space.
Georgia linebacker Nico Dean is one of the best all-around players in this year's draft. He reminds me a lot of a former Georgia linebacker, Roquan Smith. Now, he's a little bit shorter, but as far as the sideline ability to make plays, make tackles, match up with tight ends and running backs in the passing game, and also get to the quarterback when he rushes or he's asked to blitz are all things that you see out there. And lastly, he's smart. He's the quarterback of the defense. Many of the same things we said about Roquan Smith when he was coming out.
Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, taking a look at cornerback Josh Jobe out of Alabama, who feels like he's been there for a decade. Reminds me a lot of Anthony Averett, another former Crimson Tide corner out there on the field in the NFL. I love the urgency he shows in trying to get his hands on the receiver to reroute him, to slow him down. He's able to use that wingspan of his to throw off the route running rhythm of the receiver. He's got some good bursts within his game, and you can see that how much ground he's able to cover with how he's driving on the football and when he's in phase. Now, there's a little bit of panic in his technique that happens when he's playing off coverage, which tells you he's sort of reliant on his ability to get his hands on the receiver.
Clemson cornerback Mario Goodrich spent a lot of his career in the shadows of teammate and fellow cornerback Andrew Booth. But finally, in a full-time starter role in 2021, Goodrich was very productive in the Tigers defense. And the strengths of his game, which are very similar to that of Bills cornerback Dane Jackson, center around his short area quickness. Once he gets to the NFL, Goodrich will be able to stay in phase with those quick slot receivers underneath and at the intermediate level. As far as weaknesses, Goodrich is just not very fast down the football field and is a little bit slender frame, so bigger, more physical cornerbacks will be able to body him throughout the route. But if a team wants a very sudden plant and drive zone cornerback, they should look at Mario Goodrich later in the draft. If Nevada quarterback Carson Strong was entering the NFL about 10 years ago, he'd probably be widely considered a first-round pick. So why is he not considered such a highly sought-after prospect? His lack of mobility. He had a high school knee injury that flared up late in his college career that severely hindered his ability to make plays outside of structure as a scrambler or improvising whatsoever. In terms of strengths with Carson Strong's game, you love his ability to fit the football through tight windows at the intermediate level and down the football field. He's a very aggressive passer. Now, there are some times where he probably trusts his above average arm a little bit too much. And in today's NFL, you need to have a quarterback who can be creative with his legs. Strong just doesn't have that. For an NFL comparison, he reminds us a lot of Ryan Griffin or Jared Goff.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.